What is going on, guys? Bringing you another video on Metahero because I know I've got a lot of Metahero lovers out there, so this is for all you freaks. But yeah, great project. So we're gonna jump in with the video going over some of the technicals a little bit first, and then we're gonna take a look at the most recent big article that was dropped, some decent news for them. And finally, we're gonna go into Q4 roadmap and some of the future use cases, and maybe top it off with a little bit of price predictions. So let's get right into it. Alright, I'm excited about that news that they had come, but let's just take a look here real quick. This is just taking a look back to the beginning of September to where we're at now, and you can kind of see every boost here was kind of tied in with a news article or something that dropped about. This was a list on Kanga, and then this was kind of partially the KuCoin listing, as well as Elon rebranding. Oh my gosh, Elon. Boop. I'm gonna leave that in there, as well as Mark Zuckerberg rebranding to Meta from Facebook. And we've come down from that news now, and we're kind of starting to hold a support here at about 11.5 cents. We've kind of started to hold that level. Now we've got a couple different common layers of support, lines of support here for Metahero. The lowest one that was being tested quite a few times in the past month and 2 months has been down to 9 cents. And then you kind of go up and you got another one at 10 cents, and then you've got this one about 11.5 cents.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, please.
So it's pretty healthy for that to kind of come down and hold those lines, as long as, like we're doing here, holding like the 9 cent support, then we were holding the 10 cent support, and now we're holding this 11.5 cent support. If we can keep moving our support levels higher and keep on bringing lower lows and higher highs, that's a good sign. There's almost a very slight triangular wedge on this going upwards maybe, but time will tell. The biggest thing will be the articles and news that are dropping on the project and what comes out, as well as, of course, Bitcoin. Now, none of this is financial advice. Do your own research. Now, first off, I just gotta say, their website is beautiful. If you haven't checked it out, go to metahero.io and just browse around a little bit. It's really nicely designed. Now, the news that dropped out here a couple days ago was about Bloktopia. We're thrilled to announce that Metahero is partnering with Bloktopia, opening a virtual Metahero store. So anyways, you can check out that promo. It's pretty big news though, because there's a lot of other people in the space getting into Bloktopia, and even Mark Zuckerberg mentioned Bloktopia at a certain point in time as well. So if you take a look at the news article, we're thrilled to announce Metahero is partnering with Bloktopia, a virtual skyscraper with stores, offices, and an auditorium where people will come to interact on a social and professional level. To kick things off in the metaverse, we will open a virtual Metahero store on Bloktopia's 6th floor. Here we will offer virtual merch, gadgets, and maybe even a place to grab a drink in the metaverse. Ooh, they got me at the drink right there. I'll go get a rum and coke. Anyway, we're joining a community already attended by big names like Polygon, Polkastarter, Binance NFT, Cointelegraph, BitBoy, Jake Paul, and many others. So like big celebrity name even there, like Jake Paul in the building, maybe on that floor. Like the amount of people, I mean, I know he's a bit of a douchebag, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan. Sorry if I'm offending anyone, but it's going to bring a lot of people in general and a lot of awareness to the project. And what's going to be interesting in Bloktopia, I think, too, is the whole fact that there's going to be advertisements and stuff like that. I think Bloktopia is going to be an interesting project, and depending on the more and more partners that come on, it should be pretty good. There's a spider hanging from my hood right now. It's gonna rain. All right, so first off, if you just want to know a little bit more about Bloktopia, go to bloktopia.com. and there's some information on their website. I'm not going to dive too deep into it because I could go pretty deep, but like I said, it's going to be pretty crazy how there's even going to be ads on Bloktopia, obviously, and that there's a pretty key big earning opportunity for a lot of investors and whatnot. And speaking of which, I know this is mostly a Metahero video, but I did want to tell you Bloktopia currently is at a 50% down from its all-time high and its most recent pump with all the metaverse craziness going on. So with it being at a 50% low from where its all-time high was at, not a bad time maybe to look into investing into some block token as well. Not financial advice, but check it out. All right, moving on. So their white paper is honestly a nicely written, not too long, not too crazy of a white paper. For a crypto project, some of these crypto projects papers are hundreds of pages long, and it's got they put a lot of the complex stuff throughout everywhere. And for me, not being as crazy technical as you can get with the crypto programming and everything, can be hard to read. But theirs is actually very nice. It's 25 pages, and I've gone through it, and I just want to highlight a couple items. I want to talk about it because specifically on their website, if we take a look at their roadmap, they're about halfway checked off on their Q4 2021 roadmap. And their next thing is I mentioned expanding a team, a Metahero 3D NFT marketplace, growing communities, installing a public Hero 3D chamber, new app version 2, and implementation of fiat to Hero on-ramp solution. So a lot of items not checked with only a month and a half left, Metahero. So what you doing, Rob? Are you going to get these things knocked off? Because each one of these little checks, if there was an article about it, I think there'd be a pump in the price. So that's a potential, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big pumps in price. If they follow through with actually getting these ones done by the end of the year, it's a good sign for the price of the token. So let's get into these a little bit more and just talk kind of future use cases. So pretty crazy, I think I mentioned this before in the last video, how you can, get yourself scanned and then you can be in the game literally like playing Cyberpunk 2077. You go to switch guns and look down, notice your hands or look familiar. You're like, wait a second, these are my hands. And you're like, yeah, because I scanned myself. Anyway, but then additionally, you can license out your character, which would be pretty cool. And then they even mention, not even just games to license out your character, but even medical applications, surgeons doing training on your body in the metaverse, practicing on you, like crazy, woo, mind blown. That's the type of thing that could be going on. Surgeons training in the metaverse and training with these types of aids. Clothes manufacturers as well can use avatars from certain countries to determine appropriate size of their clothes for that market. But in general, just like I think clothing stores are gonna let you try on their clothes in the metaverse before maybe you decide to buy them, and then you can buy them in the metaverse maybe, and then they ship them to your house. So you already know, you've already scanned yourself, you know what you look like, and you can look at yourself from you spin yourself around on a little, almost little platform or whatever, and then you can try different clothes on. They're like, oh yeah, I want that, let me ship it, and then it shows up at your door 2 days later. I mean, just to think about craziness, not like your wife's gonna be sitting on the couch, eating Cheetos while a robot does dishes, and she's shopping in the metaverse. I hope that wasn't sexist or offending, but just crazy futuristic possibilities. Anyway, I'm getting off the beaten track here. So as an artist, there was one of these future use cases here. As an artist, if you're looking to get some extra revenue for your work, you could take your artwork to a nearby Metascanner. After you're paying your hero to book a time slot, you could scan your artwork and create NFTs and then upload them to a marketplace. And that was one of the items there in their Q4 of 2021 was a 3D marketplace. So all these artists could go and scan their stuff and then put it to this marketplace, and then people could buy the NFT version recorded on the blockchain that is verified to be theirs, and they'd have that stored. So I think the first round of artwork doing this could be something that maybe not a bad idea to try and snipe as an NFT or whatnot as it's first listed on the platform. Then as more people get on, those first gen are often, valuable. So just a thought on what's coming up. Just keeping your mind open, guys. Hero app, they're going to do that V2 version 2 of the Hero app they mentioned as well. This is in their towards the end of their white paper. Here's some of the locations where they're going to drop the first 12. So this looks like somewhere around New York and maybe over there close to Mexico. So man, I might be hopping on a plane over to New York and get myself scanned. the business model in general, let's just touch on this real quick because I think it's important to realize how they're going to be making revenue. And they make a good point that a lot of crypto projects are based on a lot of promises and hype. And as a result, they're purely fueled by speculation in their valuation and not by the fact of how they can actually make money. This is going back to the basis of like stocks and stock companies. There's so many crypto projects that really are based on hype and speculation of what they're going to deliver, but not on actually their revenue that they're going to be actually getting in. And that's an important point to remember when you're looking at and analyzing a stock. And not many people are doing that with crypto, but this guy, they're mentioning it in their white paper and they're aware about it and they've got a plan for how much money they're going to make. Because if you're looking to make yourself a full body avatar and have it done by a designer, it's usually around $700. If you go and get yourself scanned and make a hyper realistic thing of yourself, it's $200. Takes a couple seconds at one of the locations. And of course, the price they say may be able to go down as they build out more. And each of ours and then they go into the numbers. Each of our chambers can scan 200 to 400 people a day, 150,000 people annually, translates into revenues of up to 30 million annually per one scanner. Now, just think about that, because the way that they can then reinvest that money back into additional scanners and so on and so forth. I think the most important part about it then is the mass adoption of people actually going to go get themselves scanned. That's the kind of the risk in it. And I think that there's enough people and enough boom and enough interest in the metaverse that they don't think they could have much of an issue during the beginning with that. Their 5-year revenue forecast goes into more of the numbers of that. You can check this out in the white paper. The last thing I wanted to touch on briefly was look at this team. They are stacked up with some really smart folks. I went ahead and did a little bit of preliminary research on some of these guys, and they've got really good backgrounds in all sorts of different industries. I highly recommend you go and do some research on them as well. Regardless, we're going to jump back over to the chart here. Actually, we're going to jump over to the coin market cap chart and talk about the price prediction. So on here, there's a system where you can actually vote on price predictions, and the vast majority of people, around 1,600 people, have voted about the end of November. They expect the price to be close to 13 cents, which is up about 10% from where it is right now. So 15 days from now, a 10% gain. The average of people think that. I was a little more bullish. I put around 14 cents for the end of the month, with about 20%. But it's so hard to make a prediction on this type of thing when it's all predicated on 1, article, news, announcement, and 2, Bitcoin price. So I don't even want to confuse you or shake you up. I just want to tell you that you got to focus on just following the news, following where the interest is going, what people are thinking about, and where the future's going. That's super vague, so throw you some numbers out there. Let's say I'm predicting they're going to drop at least one of those news articles as something, and it pumps the price. Let's see, last 2 times it's pumped up to a high of 16 cents. I think by the end of December, I think we could be close to 20 cents, in around the 20 cent area. Not financial advice. Do your own research, and have a great Sunday. Peace out.